Welcome to No Rules Review with your host, Ethan Malay. Hey there everybody, Ethan Malay here with another No Rules Review. Today we're going to look at Duck Dealer. And I just want to start by saying, look at this cover. Tell me you don't want to play this game. Tell me you don't want to play a game where a duck with a bucket of paint and an armful of cash is flying over Earth with a guy with the Star of David and the Crescent of Islam and a yin-yang on his head. I mean, that's evocative, right? Yeah, this is one of the zanier Splotter games out there. You play a bunch of space merchants. You're not actually ducks, I don't think, because you trade in ducks. Though, if you are ducks and you're buying and selling ducks, there's a disturbing duck slavery undertone to this game that I've never considered. I now got to re-examine it. You're flying around from planet to planet, buying goods in one planet, selling them to another. You can buy them in one planet, convert them in another planet into a higher good and sell them on another planet. It's basically Merchant of Venus, Splotter's take on it. It's neat, you know. The goods are just little chits. There's nothing super amazing about them, but the board is quite nice, and you're flying around. Now, what makes this game unique is players have to fight their natural player instinct to take actions. In this game, on your turn, you do one of two things. Either you collect some multicolored discs that are then turned in later when you're doing an action, or you take an action. Now, the game has a set number of actions for all players. I believe it's something like 24 to 30. Excuse me while I, obviously didn't look it up prior to doing this. And I'm trying to get the board out while talking to you, but it's not cooperating. There's your player sheet, by the way. You can see your hold. I'll talk about that a little later. Let's see. How many turns do you have in the entirety of this game? You have a grand total of 24 actions. Yes. So between however many people are playing, and this is again, showing my professional nature, 2 to 5 player game. There are 24 actions for those 2 to 5 players to take. Once those 24 actions are gone, the game is done. So I don't remember what form it is, but on Board Game Geek, Joris, one of the two designers, actually talked about this, saying that when they play tested it, people understood that you sort of want to build up, take a giant turn. And he said there's a lot of negative reception for this game out and about on the interwebs, and he said it's because people don't realize that you sort of break the game if you take a lot of little actions. And when I've played this with people, I've seen that happening, and I've gotten a little irate at one player in particular, he knows who he is, who kept taking a lot of little actions, and of course it will break the game. Now he argued, I'm gonna win taking a lot of little actions, and he very well might have. We actually never did finish that game. It was getting late into the night, but it sort of defeats the spirit of the game. You want to conserve and build up, because each red disc you collect moves your ship. Each blue disc you collect and use does a trade action. Each yellow disc allows you to build, and so you want to save up and you're planning. And it's sort of neat when you play this game, because you see people collecting your discs, and in order to try to remember what you're doing, you sort of start making this stack. So people have these giant stacks of wooden discs in red and yellow and blue stacked up in front of them, and that's their turn. And then when it comes time for their action, you sort of try to flip it, and then you just paying them off from the top. It is a lot of fun. Now, so one criticism of the game is it is easily broken by people who don't play to the spirit of the game. Another criticism is that the conversion of goods up the technology tree, I guess you would say, or conversion tree, is not super intuitive. Like, did you know glass beads plus blue paint equal drugs? Or, where else do I want here? Well, blue paint, we can use that and put that with a yellow rubber ducky to get a blue ducky. Now that one makes sense. But blue ducky plus radio equals religion. Bet you didn't know that. Can I get another zany one here? Radio plus those same beads that when combined with the blue paint gave you medicine. Well, now radio plus beads gives you money, economics. So yeah, it's not intuitive. Here, if I can get it in the camera. Whoops, wrong way. Here you see the conversion tree. And so you see how sort of zany that is. It doesn't really want to focus that great. So players, and it is right here on your board, but players, there's not an intuitive nature to what turns into what. So players have to keep looking and say, well, okay, I'm at the blue paint planet, what can I do, and when can I go there? And it's hard to remember because, you know, you have these, they're spread out, and it's randomized, so it's good, each game is different, but, you know, it can be tough to remember where you need to go, what you're trying to get. But it is a fun game. It's a lot of fun because you are zipping around the universe and you're trying to find the most lucrative way to get points in those limited actions you have. So you might find a pretty decent little path that you can just keep making the rounds of, or maybe you want to go and discover new planets, because each new planet, when it has an initial demand, whoever first satisfies that demand gets a lot of points. Each subsequent delivery to that planet is worth less points. So you can decide, do I want to go exploring and find all these new planets and deliver to them first, or do I want to let other people do the hard work, and then for me, just go and make sort of the easy delivery routes afterwards. It can be a quick game. Most of your turns, the turns when you're grabbing those discs, it's 2 seconds. So it plays very quickly. You'll have rounds and rounds where everybody's just claiming discs, claiming discs, claiming discs, and then somebody says, okay, I'm doing something, and the game sort of pauses. And if you don't like sitting and waiting, you can honestly just walk away, go get a drink, go to the bathroom, while that person takes their turn, because nothing they're doing on that turn affects you, really, in any way, besides, oh no, I wanted to do that and you did that. So, you know, you can deal with any amount of game length you might find unenjoyable by just walking out or zoning out. I mean, I personally wouldn't. It's fun to see what other people do, but it's a great Splotter game. They just sold out of this one officially in their own shop, but you can still get Duck Dealer for pretty cheap online. I mean, I know at the time of this video, there are copies on eBay for $30, which for a Splotter game is almost unheard of. I would recommend this to anyone who has enjoyed other Splotter games, and if anybody who enjoys Splotter and also enjoys Merchant of Venus or wants to try something along those lines, Duck Dealer is a great game. I personally rank it up there in probably my top, I don't know, maybe my top 5 Splotter games I enjoyed immensely. That is Duck Dealer. This has been Ethan Millay with No Rules Review. If you like what you see, share, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now. This has been another No Rules Review by Ethan Millay. If you enjoyed this video, consider sharing, commenting, liking, and most importantly, subscribing. For this and other great games, join us over on BoardGameGeek.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.